Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Across the Stages podcast brought to you by Absolute Motorsport and the LRTV. I'm James Casey, and joining me today is Josh Suttill. We're going to be talking through the Tour de Course that has just finished and also having a quick look towards the Argentinian round that is up next. And obviously, Tour de Course, we were expecting to see a fantastic battle between Sebastian Loeb and Sebastian Ogier, but unfortunately we were robbed of that, and Ogier was free to take a dominant victory. But what a performance from Ogier.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I saw some people saying, oh look, another easy win for Ogier or whatever. But he really did earn this one, I think. I mean, obviously Loeb, it was such a shame with him crashing out on the second stage. But I think Ogier just absolutely controlled this rally from start to finish. And we really saw, I think, him at his best on Friday. And then, of course, Saturday and Sunday, you could take it quite easy, but still had some really, really good pace and, really earned this rally win and firmly just kind of staked his claim as, I think the real championship favourite.
Yeah, I think so far these 3 wins out of 4, obviously had that really pretty disastrous event in Sweden, but other than that, he's looked really in control and back to his kind of Volkswagen days where he's challenging for wins rather than just picking up the points. So looking really, really good for him. Saturday and Sunday, as you say, just controlling the pace and still easily able to keep his lead without pushing really whatsoever by the looks of it. So yeah, looking very good for Ogier, and his rivals will be in a little bit of worry, especially Thierry Neuville, who finished third, but really was not happy with his Hyundai throughout this event.
Yeah, I don't really know what was going on with Neville. I mean, it just kind of got worse and worse. The setup changes he made didn't really work. He looked in a fairly comfortable second place, but then ended up losing it to Tanak, who came from quite a way back. And then by the time we got to the power stage, of course, it really wasn't going great for Neville. So yeah, he takes third place, but really probably not the third quickest rally driver this weekend. So probably quite fortunate really to take a podium from this event. But he's really going to have to come back strong in Argentina, really, after what was a disappointing first trip to the asphalt. Really, not great for Neville.
Yeah, and that was obviously an event that he won last year, so
Yeah.
a real big shame. He's going to have to turn that around very, very quickly. And in general, Hyundai didn't have a good event either, did they? Danny Sordo was able to pick up P4, but was a long way back. Yeah, and very lucky as well, with Andreas Mikkelsen having a complete disaster.
Oof, dear.
Yeah.
Not great for Mikkelsen. I mean, most people were kind of putting him as a kind of a pre-season kind of favourite, weren't they? At least in the kind of top 3 or top 5. But really, he hasn't looked to have the pace to win, any of the 4 rallies so far on 4 different surfaces. So it doesn't really bode well, does it, for the rest of the season? But let's see if he can find his balance. We've seen this before from Hyundai drivers. Sometimes they do go through bad patches. So let's see if he can turn this one around, because we know how talented he is. But not great for Mikkelsen.
At least Hyundai were able to pick up some pretty solid manufacturer points. They do actually still lead that as well, so they can take something from that. Toyota, on the other hand, had a fantastic event. Didn't quite get the points that they really deserved, but Ott Tanak obviously had a great rally, finishing in second position. Really got his season back on track after a couple of tricky events.
Yeah, definitely. Really good pace, I think, from Toyota. Again, a kind of one bad day, which they usually have, kind of sets them back and kind of puts them out of rally contention. That kind of happened on the first day for them. They had kind of electrical cutouts, I think, or engine cutouts through water sections. So, yeah, not great for them. Still kind of technical issues hampering their charge. But when the car is working, it is working really, really well. Some really strong pace from all 3 Toyota drivers, particularly Ott Tanak and Escobar. So, good job from Tanak to get second place.
Yeah. Esapeka obviously having that one problem again. It seems every rally it's one problem for Lappi, just holding it back, isn't it? But he was able to pick up the power stage win and still picked up 6th position. But really, had it not been for that, he should have been 3rd. And he's really proven himself as a star in the future. But he could, with his pace, be a star right now, couldn't he? But it's just these odd mistakes holding him back.
Yeah, I mean, he is a power stage king, though, isn't he? I mean, it's pretty much a win or bin. In Monaco, we saw that he lost, I think, about 3 positions. But then he won in Sweden and he won in Corsica as well here. So, yeah, what a great job from Lappi. EP is going to be, like you say, a big star. And yeah, like you say, I think he could really be a big person to watch in the second half of this year. I think somewhere like Finland, he could definitely win again. And then that could really set him off for the rest of the year. So, yeah, he's really not too far away from that second win, I think, because when he gets it really hooked up, like you say, he's quicker than anyone.
And obviously the final Toyota driver who had a pretty kind of missing during the week, but he had that crash eventually. But he is the happiest person I've ever seen to crash a rally car. He got to the end of the stage once he was 18 minutes down, and he said to the reporter, he said, "I'm really happy because we found how to work this car. Yeah, I've crashed, but at least I've got the car working." So some really positive signs on that, which shows how Toyota are doing. Then on to our final team of Citroën. What a disappointing weekend for them.
Yeah, what a disaster, really. I think when Loeb crashed, there was just a collective sigh from everybody because we've been waiting so long to see this OJ versus Loeb fight, and we keep getting so many false starts, and unfortunately, this was another one. And then Chris Meek as well, crashing out of what probably could have been second place if you consider kind of how Neville's rally ended, or third place at the minimum, I think, for Chris Meek. So yeah, what a shame for him. Just a kind of a misread pace note from Paul Nagel, a rally of 10,000 corners, and unfortunately, he just got one of those corners wrong in terms of the pace note. So yeah, I think he read a 5 instead of a 3. So yeah, really unlucky for those two. These things happen. Meek, I think, knows by now how to bounce back from those crashes. Ultimately, good pace, but again, just like Neville, I mean, he was leading this rally last year and just wasn't really able to show that same pace. Only fourth on the power stage as well. They fixed the rule now, so you can't, messing around with where you start the power stage. Maybe a little compromised by road position, but even so, disappointing power stage and a disappointing rally as a whole, really, for Citroën. They really should have got some big points from this weekend.
Mm. And one of the things that I do want to mention, obviously, we had that misread pace note from Paul Nagel, which was pretty scary when he ran off the road, just going pretty much straight on. But obviously we did have another co-driver, as well as Daniel Elner coming back, along with Sebastian Loeb doing a fantastic job as ever. We had another world champion co-driver coming back for this one with Phil Mills supporting Elfyn Evans throughout this weekend, as Dan Barrett still recovers from his concussion. And that was fantastic to see Phil Mills back, and he really did a solid job, didn't he, at the age of 53 now.
Yeah, he started straight back in. It was like I was half expecting to see Petter Solberg alongside him, but yeah, Evans, I think they did a really good job this weekend. Ironically, it's Evans' best rally of the season so far, and it was the one where he had a co-driver change and pretty much the last minute, and obviously not quite prepared for it fully. And he still managed to get a 5th place, which I think is more of a testament to how badly his season's gone so far than this particular rally. But yeah, in Corsica, I think he did a really good job.
Now back to Citroën, because they did have one positive over the weekend, and that was that their new C3 R5 debuted this weekend, and they showed impressive pace, with Lefebvre winning a few stages on the Friday before an unfortunate crash on Saturday. But Johan Bernardo, who was privately entered in another C3 R5, was able to finish in second position. So a positive start for Citroën's new R5 car. Not enough to beat Jan Kopecky, but very interesting, isn't it, to see these new cars. We're expecting the VW later in the season. The new cars coming into WRC2 and really adding to that battle, which was previously controlled by Skoda.
Definitely, Citroën really impressed me this weekend with the pace of their car. I'd already put it above the Hyundai R5, to be honest. I'd already put it as the kind of third best R5 car at the moment, and it could definitely elevate itself up into that top, kind of band, I think, with Skoda and Ford. We just need to see a little bit more from them, but I think they could be in for a really good season. And that kind of title goal set for Lefebvre doesn't seem quite as crazy now, but yeah, it's still, and of course, a long way to go. The competition was decent this weekend, but not the best we've ever seen. So the true kind of litmus test will probably come a little later in the season. I think Portugal might be their next rally for them, and I think we'll have quite a few cars there. So that'll be the real test. Certainly, first signs looking very promising.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want to see in WRC2 because it has had a tendency just to be a little bit of a walkover. And obviously, it was in the end Kopeschke who did win and reasonably comfortably, but it was mainly through problems for the other guys rather than just being able to control it pace-wise. But a really good job by him. And he has staked his claim with these 2 wins so far to have a full crack at possibly the championship in WRC2. And we both want to see what he can do against Tiedemann.
Definitely, I think that'd be quite a nice upset. He's obviously a lot more experienced than Tiedemann. He's at the kind of back end of his career, but this is his most impressive WRC2 season yet. So let's see if he can carry it on beyond the kind of asphalt rounds of Monty and Corsica. We know he's got an asphalt, but let's see if he can do it on gravel, and let's see if he can do it against Tiedemann.
So hopefully we get to see that. Obviously, Skoda have got 5 drivers that they've got to fit in, so it might be a little bit difficult. But yeah, hopefully we do see that. No mandatory rounds this year, so we might not. But hopefully we see that in WRC2. And then finally, just to quickly talk about junior WRC. Obviously, in Sweden, it was the 2 Swedes who were 1 and 2. And in France, it was the 2 French drivers that were 1 and 2. So that was pretty interesting to see. And it looks quite wide open, junior WRC.
Compared to last year, for sure, where we got Sterlands kind of dominating it. But yeah, Jean-Baptiste did a fantastic job, didn't he? I love kind of keeping kind of one eye on the junior WRC this weekend. It was great. Like you say, pretty much a 4-5-way fight. Even Callum Devine was in it as well a bit. I think Tom Williams got a puncture. But really just good stuff, I think. I was very impressed. Ken Torn as well, got quite a few stage wins, but he finished, I think, down in 12 or something after a big problem. So yeah, I think this category is looking really, really competitive this year, and I think it's going to be quite hard to call with only 5 rounds as well. The kind of attendance, I think, is really, really good.
Yep, and I'm not actually sure where they are next, but as you say, 2 down and 3 to go. Portugal next.
It's going to have a massive entry list.
Yeah.
At Portugal, the whole 3 categories.
Yeah, so that is going to be a good event to watch out. But of course, before Portugal, we've got Argentina, which, as obviously it's in South America, you don't get the brilliant kind of entry lists that you do on some other events. But we've got a full 12 factory cars, at least in WRC. Naza Alatea was supposed to be making his debut in the Toyota Yaris privateer, but there's some kind of diplomatic problem, I think, with that, with the problems in Qatar. So he won't be doing that, unfortunately. But we do see a few drivers swapping around. Suninen back in, of course, with Bouffier in this weekend. Sordo staying on at Hyundai. And then Kaldau Kasimi coming into the 3rd Citroen with Breen back in for Loeb. And Argentina, obviously, last year we saw that pretty incredible event from Elvin Evans going a minute up and then dropping back. So that was quite unexpected. Do you think that we could see any other unexpected performances in Argentina?
Craig Breen coming back, I think that could be. I think he's got a lot to prove. Not a lot to prove, but I mean, he's been waiting for his chance. After sitting out a couple of rounds, he'll be quite hungry. Once he gets up to speed, I expect some impressive performances from him. Toty didn't do very well here last year. I don't think they won a single stage, but I expect Lappy to do quite a good job. Evans won't be able to do quite as good a job, I think. Now he's on the same ties as everyone else. But yeah, I think it'll be quite a competitive one. OGIER, surely with the road order, will not be able to win this one as well. So we'll wait and see on that one, though. I think a great chance for Neville to strike. So he's my tip to win.
Yeah, obviously Neville did a really good job last year to chase down Evans, and a very rocky and dusty event. So a one that you would expect the road position to really hamper OGIER, but you never know. With OGIER in the form he is at the moment, he might be able to do it. But I tend to agree with you that it'll be someone else this time round. And I think Breen would be the person who's going to be
good road position.
Unexpected. Good road position. Obviously, his morale will be high, despite missing 2 rallies, because obviously he's had that second in Sweden. So he should have a reasonable amount of confidence, and I think Mikkelsen. I think he could really kickstart his season in Argentina. I think well, he's got to, hasn't he? Really. So that might put the pressure on him. I hope to see that, because I don't want it to be kind of one driver from each team. I want to see that inter-team battle, which we're kind of not seeing in the championship overall at the moment. Just kind of one from each team, isn't it? Ogier, Tanak, and Neuville.
Especially considering Sordo's doing quite well as well. I think he's getting some decent results.
Yeah.
But, that could put pressure on Mikkelsen. I would not be surprised if they, swap those seats around a little bit if it continues.
Yeah, because obviously that's what they did at the end of last season. So yeah, and they've got Padden there, who did a good job in Sweden. So at the moment, those third drivers switching around, are doing a good job. So pressure is on Mikkelsen. So he's really got to deliver. But yeah, I think it could be an interesting event. Could be quite attritional as well. So looking forward to that one. And we will be back next time to review Argentina. So thank you very much for listening today. And we will see you then. Goodbye.